our advanced astrological techniques for 2026, secondary progressions, and solar returns. And through this video, we're going to analyze 6 different pages, including this one. So it's going to be a lot to get through, but I'm here to help guide you guys through it. Per usual, in all of my other videos, all I do is go through simple astrological concepts and dissect them. Even if they're advanced, I usually just dissect them for you, teach them to you, help you understand astrology. So, our theoretical foundations, 2026 relevance. Both secondary progressions, SB, and solar returns, SR, operate on symbolic time systems, revealing different layers of personal development. In the context of 2026's Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees Aries, these techniques become indispensable for distinguishing between internal readiness, SP, and external opportunity windows, SR. The core distinction: secondary progressions, the inner biography, how your psyche evolves, 1D equals 1 year of life. Solar returns, the thematic forecast, the quality of experience for a specific year, birthday to birthday. Okay, and for 2026, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction represents a generational reset point. SP reveals if and when a person is internally prepared for this reset, while SR shows it how it will manifest in their yearly cycle. Secondary progressions. Deep protocol, advanced calculation considerations. While standard SP uses 1 day equals 1 year, advanced practitioners employ variable rate methods for more precise timing. Key months. Progress each month after birth for childhood development patterns. Moon progression, calculate separately using approximately 1 degrees per month for emotional development tracking. Critical degrees, pay special attention when progressed planets hit 0 degrees, 13 degrees, and 26 degrees of cardinal signs, particularly Aries in 2026. Next, we have our 2026 progression diagnostic 3-layer analysis. First layer is progressed moon phase cycle. The progressed moon's phase relative to natal moon reveals emotional readiness for the Saturn-Neptune cycle. Progressed balsamic, new moon 2024 through 2027, individuals completing a 28-year emotional cycle and beginning a new one are primed for the Saturn-Neptune initiation. Progressed first quarter moon, individuals experiencing internal crises that force action regarding the Saturn-Neptune themes. Now we have our progressed full moon, individuals experiencing culminations or revelations related to structures and visions. For example, a client with progressed moon at 27 degrees Pisces moving toward a new moon at 5 degrees Aries in 2026 is a primary candidate for profound engagement with a Saturn-Neptune conjunction. Our second layer, progressed Sun aspects to natal Neptune Saturn. This measures identity alignment with the dissolution structure paradox. Progressed Sun conjunct natal Neptune, orb 1 degrees, year of visionary awakening but potential identity confusion. Progressed Sun square natal Saturn, orb 1 degrees, year of structural crises demanding maturity. Progressed Sun trine sextile either, years of graceful integration of Saturn-Neptune themes. We have our third final layer. It's progressed angles to natal Saturn-Neptune midpoint. Calculate the natal midpoint between Saturn and Neptune. When progressed ascendant or MC midheaven contacts this point within 1 degrees, the external life demands engagement with the collective Saturn-Neptune themes. Case example, secondary progression in 2026 context. So for example, we have a client born March 15th, 1980, and here's their 2026 SP profile. Progressed moon at 12 degrees Aries, recent new moon at 5 degrees Aries, progressed sun at 22 degrees Aries, square natal Saturn at 24 degrees Capricorn, progressed ascendant at 28 degrees Gemini, approaching opposition to natal Saturn-Neptune midpoint at 2 degrees Capricorn. Here's the interpretation. This individual will experience 2026 as a pivotal initiation year, new moon, requiring courageous action, Aries, amid structural limitations, Sun square Saturn, with public life demanding engagement with collective restructuring themes, ascendant, opposition, midpoint. Okay, now we have our solar return analysis, our advanced methodology. Now first for our solar return relocation. The 2026 imperative for 2026, Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees Aries makes SR relocation essential for advanced work. Here's the protocol. Calculate the SR for birthplace thematic base. And we're going to calculate the SR for location where the client will spend their birthday, actual manifesting environment. We're going to compare house positions of key 2026 planets, Saturn-Neptune conjunction, structural vision, Jupiter and Leo, expansion through authenticity, Mars, Uranus, and Gemini, disruptive communication. Strategic relocation goals for 2026. Place Saturn-Neptune conjunction in angular houses, which is the first house, the fourth house, the seventh house, the 10th house, for conscious engagement. Place Jupiter in ascendant houses, second house, fifth house, 8th house, 11th house, for resource development. Avoid Mars, Uranus in the 6th or 12th house. If possible, hidden disruptions. The 2026 solar return house activation system. So the SR chart functions as a thematic blueprint for the year. In 2026, with Jupiter entering Leo, the house containing Leo and its planetary ruler becomes the primary growth channel. Advanced interpretation protocol. Identify the Jupiter house where Leo falls in the SR chart. It determines the growth arena. Locate the SR Sun house. Where does the SR Sun fall relative to natal houses? Saturn-Neptune house, the arena requiring vision, structure, synthesis. Integration, how do these three areas interact? So, for example, here's our 2026 SR interpretation framework. Jupiter in the 5th house SR. Year of creative expansion, romance, children, speculation. SR Sun in the 10th house, public identity, career focus, authority figures. Saturn-Neptune in the 3rd house, restructuring of communication, local community, siblings. The synthesis is creative leadership, Jupiter 5th, Sun 10th, applied to reimagining daily communication and community networks, Saturn-Neptune in the 3rd house. Alright? Here's our harmonic returns, the 90 degrees return, quarterly forecasts. For precision timing within the SR year, calculate 90 degree solar returns approximately every 91 days. Here's the calculation. Solar return for when the Sun reaches each 90 degrees increment from natal position. 0 degrees being the birthday, main SR, 90 degrees being 3 months later, 180 degrees being 6 months later, opposition return, 270 degrees, 9 months later. And then we have our application to the 2026 Saturn-Neptune cycle. 0 degrees return, theme setting for engagement, 90 degrees return, first actions, challenges, 180 degrees return, culmination, opposition phase, 270 degrees return, integration, preparation for the next cycle. Here's our technique synthesis, the 2026 integration protocol, our 3-tiered forecasting model for comprehensive 2026 analysis integrate. We're going to use our Tier 1 secondary progressions inner timeline. Answers, am I ready for this? What internal development is occurring? Tier 2 solar return thematic context. Answers, what are this year's opportunities? Where will energy flow? Tier 3 transits to both activation triggers. Answers, when will things happen? What triggers the potentials? Here's the 2026 Saturn-Neptune Engagement Index. Create a client-specific index scoring engagement level with the 2026 conjunction. Here's our scoring factors, 0 to 10 each. SP engagement, progress personal planet angle within 30 degrees of 0 degrees Aries. SR engagement, Saturn-Neptune and SR angular houses, being a first house, the 4th house, the 7th house, or the 10th house. Natal resonance, natal planet angle within 5 degrees of 0 degrees Aries, and life cycle, ages 28 through 30, 56 through 60, Saturn return cycles, or 42 through 44 Uranus opposition. Here's the interpretation. 25 or more points, primary participant and collective shift, 15 to 24 points, conscious engagement with themes, 5 to 14 points, background influence, 0 to 4 points, minimal direct engagement. Here's our delineation guidelines for 2026 secondary progression interpretive framework. For each significant progression in 2026, we should ask, what internal capacity is developing planet's nature? How is it developing aspect type? Where will it manifest house position? When will it integrate timing to exact aspect? In our solar return interpretive framework for 2026 SR charts, prioritize Saturn-Neptune house, the vision building arena, Jupiter and Leo house, the growth and authenticity channel, chart ruler's condition, overall year viability, angular planets' most immediate manifestations. Our synthesis questions for client sessions. How does your internal development SP prepare you for this year's themes, SR? Where does the 2026 Saturn-Neptune call to build vision intersect with your yearly growth focus, Jupiter and Leo? What quarterly phase harmonic return will likely bring the most significant developments? Here's our practical application sample client session outline. Pre-session preparation, we calculate all SP aspects within 1 degree's orb for 2026. Calculate SR for birthplace and current residence. Note all 2026 transits to natal and progress charts. Compute Saturn-Neptune engagement index. Here's our session structure. Internal landscape, 10 minutes. Present key SP themes for 2026. Yearly themes, 10 minutes. Present SR chart highlights. Integration map, 15 minutes. Showing where SP and SR intersect. Quarterly forecast, 10 minutes. Highlight key harmonic return dates. Strategic recommendations, 5 minutes based on synthesis. Our 2026 specific language. Instead of Saturn brings limitations, say you are building a practical form for spiritual vision. Instead of Neptune brings confusion, say old identities are dissolving to make space for authentic self. Instead of Jupiter brings expansion, say your growth comes through courageous self-expression. Here are our common pitfalls and advanced corrections. Pitfall 1. Overemphasizing SP while ignoring SR or vice versa. The correction is always present both as inner call, SP, and outer response, SR. Pitfall 2. Interpreting SR in isolation from natal chart. Here's the correction. Compare SR houses to natal houses. SR 5th house Jupiter means different things if natal Jupiter is in the 2nd versus the 8th house. Pitfall 3. Ignoring progression direction. Here's the correction. A progressed planet applying to an aspect indicates developing situations. Separating indicates integration periods. Pitfall 4. Overlooking harmonic returns. Here's the correction. For clients with major 2026 developments, calculate at least the 90 degrees returns. Here's our conclusion. The 2026 practitioner's mindset. The advanced astrologer working with 2026 energies must function as a temporal cartographer, mapping the intersection of internal development, SP, yearly themes, SR, and generational shifts, Saturn-Neptune. Techniques outlined here provide a framework for this multidimensional analysis. Essential insight for 2026 is that every client will engage with the Saturn-Neptune conjunction differently based on their progression cycle and solar return configuration. Expertise lies not in predicting identical experiences, but in illuminating the unique pathway each individual has through this collective initiation. Here's our final practice recommendation. Begin now to calculate the 2026 SP and SR charts for practice clients. And you can notice patterns in how different progression phases by age interact with the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. Preparatory work will create the expertise needed to guide clients through the significant astrological threshold. If you enjoyed this video, like it, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you in the next one, teaching you more astrology or possibly reacting to a movie, TV show, song, whatever I get a paid request to do. See you there.